All right, welcome back to another episode of Scissors and Scrubs.
The summer series.
Oh, I love this summer series. I'm going to try to get Mike to do some t-shirts about the summer series. Maybe we'll have some sharks on roller coasters and some jellyfish in national parks.
Yeah.
It'll be good. So we're having a little technical difficulties tonight, so I'm basically sitting on top of Laura while we're doing this episode. It's a lot of fun. She's giving me the eyeball like, what are you doing? Disgusting. And I'm sure my breath smells awful.
That's why I said I should go rebrush my teeth.
So this episode is going to be about mosquitoes,
bees,
and ticks. Nothing like a good buzz, sting, and sucker out of the life. I'm going to start with squeaks.
Okay.
And nothing disturbs me more in the summertime than the sound of that. And you will see me have like a complete spasmodic fit when I hear that in my ear. I completely lose my shit.
They don't bother me that much.
Oh my god. I can't. You know what? I had an aunt who had a moth go in her ear and she had to go to the ER.
Oh no. I would rather die at home.
My shit if I had a bug in my ear. So it's more the sound of it in my ear and I'm afraid it's going to get stuck in my ear. I would lose.
I'd just be deaf for the rest of my life.
Oh my god. I remember watching, I don't know, one of those weird shows that I watched.
Tales from the ER or something.
Something stupid. And this woman was a waitress at like some divey place. So she went to sleep in the cook's trailer behind the place.
Oh god.
She goes to sleep. She comes back. She's out of her mind. She's saying there's helicopters in her head. They all think she's having a psychotic break and she's losing it. She's screaming and they bring her to the ER. They put her to sleep. She had a circadia bug in her ear. Oh. And every time they would go to get it, it would burrow deeper. So she would lose. So they had to anesthetize her to get her to stop. And then they put alcohol in it to basically kill it and pull it out. Forget it.
No.
Forget it.
No. I don't like that.
Nope. Okay, so mosquitoes. As I like to call them, mosquitoes. We're going to start with fun facts. Okay. Mosquitoes? Okay.
I love fun facts.
I love fun facts, too. So mosquitoes cause at least 2.7 million deaths a year.
Wow.
They are the most deadly thing on Earth. Didn't know that, did you?
Is it because of, like, malaria?
Oh, I'm so smart. Because of the disease they spread. There are about 500 million cases of mosquito-borne illness every year.
Oh my god.
Okay, well, during our technical difficulties, I had a little too much to drink.
Yes.
So if I slur my words a little bit, it's because I had a good summer night. Okay, 90% of mosquito-borne illnesses occur in Africa. Did you know that?
No.
Yeah, well, you do know. And there are over 3,500 species of mosquitoes.
Oh.
An estimated number of mosquitoes in the world is in the quadrillions. Blah.
What?
Yeah, quadrillions. You can't even count that's how many mosquitoes are around.
Oh, God.
With their little vectors of illness projecting into you. They are considered the most dangerous animal in the world. Little, tiny, itty-bitty mosquitoes. They've been around since the Jurassic period. About 210 million years old.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Little fuckers. All right. Only female mosquitoes bite using a serrated proboscis.
Oh.
To drain your blood. The itchy bump we get are the allergic reaction we have to the mosquito's saliva. Again.
Ew.
Ugh. All right.
It's like it's licking you.
Yeah. No, he's stabbing you with a serrated knife, and their saliva's on the end of it. So they're spitting on you at the same time. Ugh. They have 6 legs, and they come in varying shades of black and gray. 50 shades of mosquito gray. They are active from dusk till dawn,
yes, they
and
are.
they like to live near stagnant water.
Yes, they do.
A mosquito can drink up to 3 times its weight in blood. I can drink 3 times my weight in beer.
Yeah.
Okay. 3 times its weight in blood, draining about 0.01 to 0.001 milliliters of blood. So if you wanted to bleed to death from mosquito bites, you'd have to have like 1,000 of them drained.
I mean, even more.
It's ridiculous. They gave a number, and I was like, yeah, I'm not even quoting this. Okay. They're so deadly because of the diseases they spread. They are responsible for Zika virus, Dengue Fever, West Nile virus, chikungunya. I can't pronounce
don't want
it.
that
I can't.
No.
Yellow fever, Eastern Equine Encephalitis, Western Equine Encephalitis, St. Louis Encephalitis, and Lysis Encephalitis.
Ooh.
They got a lot of encephalitis going on.
Your brain is just swelling like crazy.
Right. Yep. Malaria, ancient disease,
Mm-hmm.
thought to have started in Africa. Shocker. It came from the Italian word malaria, or bad air, because it was thought to be caught from bad air.
Oh.
It comes from, and they thought they thought the swamps
Mm-hmm.
and
We're
the
letting
rivers.
off
I'm
some
like,
sort of...
what is that word? Swamps and rivers. They thought the air coming off the swamps and rivers were what was infecting you, when it was actually the mosquitoes living in the swamps and the rivers that were infecting you. And it is actually caused by the parasite Plasmodium, and is transmitted by female Anopheles mosquitoes. I'm going to make these names up as they go because I can't get out. 40% of the world's population is susceptible to it.
Yeesh.
There is a theory that African Americans get sickle cell anemia because it's a defense mechanism against
Malaria.
Oh. It's not as common in the U.S. with the use of DDT and screens on your windows, ACs, and public health interventions.
Mm-hmm.
Mainly seen in tropical areas now. Symptoms of malaria.
Yeah, please.
You know, you always
hear
malaria.
about it.
I think of Vietnam vets coming back.
Mm-hmm.
I think of World War II vets who were in the South Pacific.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of a bizarre
And
disease.
I think of just when people travel abroad to those places and need to get the
malaria.
shot. Yeah.
Okay, so with malaria, you get high fevers with shaking chills.
Oh.
You get a headache. All right, when I go through my ticks and my mosquitoes, every goddamn disease is the same shit.
Okay.
Headache, nausea, vomiting, muscle pain and fatigue, sweating, chest and abdominal pain, and a cough. Basically,
I might have malaria.
This is every disease that we've ever talked about. There are 300 to 500 million cases are reported worldwide, and it kills, supposedly, one child every 40 seconds.
Oh my God.
Mm-hmm. Oh God, this word. Chikungunya. That's what we're going to go with, and we're going to call it chicka, because I can't keep saying chikungunya.
Yeah.
It's way too much for me to do. Chicky is mainly seen in the Caribbean, but in 2014, 2 cases were seen in Florida because it is a swamp.
Yeah.
Why I don't like to vacation there.
No.
It's a swamp. It's also been seen in 35 other states due to travel.
Mm-hmm.
The name is attributed to the... I don't know why I write these words down because I can never say them. And I don't pretend I even know.
No.
Kikakonda, which is a Mozambique dialect word meaning that which bends up. Because the primary symptom is excruciating joint pain.
Oh.
Your face is priceless.
I'm just trying to figure out what that means. That which bends up. I mean, okay. Yeah, I guess with joints. Yeah.
You ever see Zelda from the Pet Sematary movie? And she was all...
No.
That she scared me for fucking years.
I can't watch that. There's like cats in it.
Yes, there is. But Zelda was like the older sister who was all crippled up. And she was like, Rachel, I love you. And she was all... Oh, she scared me for years.
Maybe this is what she had.
She
Chicky
had
disease.
chicky disease. Okay. It is spread by the Asian tiger mosquito.
Oh.
Wow. The tiger king of mosquitoes. And the yellow fever mosquito. There is no vaccine, and the only treatment is pain meds. Oh. Your symptoms are, let's guess, sudden fever and joint pain, muscle pain, headache and fatigue, and a rash. Basically every disease known to man. Mm-hmm. So you don't want the chicky disease either. No. That which bends up. No. Mosquitoes can also give you dengue fever.
I mean, you don't hear about that, I think,
but
a lot anymore.
People in Florida get it.
Really?
Yes. I was watching one of my weird shows, and a woman from Key West had all these weird symptoms. They didn't know what it was. It was dengue fever.
Why do you live in Florida?
Florida, Louisiana, Alabama, Mississippi. It's one gigantic swamp.
Yeah, it's very swampy.
And all that's in a swamp is fucking mosquitoes. Mm-hmm. You don't want to go to a swamp.
And alligators.
Mm-hmm. Mosquitoes and alligators. Why? And it's hot and it's muggy.
Muggy.
Like and you get those weird trees that grow out of the water. You know? No,
oh, yeah.
Catfish are down there.
Mm-hmm. They bite.
Yeah. You ever watch? I was watching one of these weird shows. Oh, Dirty Jobs. Dirty Jobs with Mike Rowe.
Mm-hmm. I love him.
So he's going to go catfishing. And he's with this guy who is backwoods Louisiana. And he's like, so they're in their little boat and they're in the swamp and you got those banyu trees. I don't know, the trees that grow out of the water. And that's the catfish hang in the roots of those trees. So the guy's like, you gotta get in the water and you gotta go like with your finger. You gotta use your index finger. That's how you get the catfish. And Mike's like, there are alligators in the water? Sometimes. He's like, oh, do they bite? Sometimes. Do the catfish bite? Sometimes. Every answer this guy gave was sometimes. Like, yep, no, I'm good. Good.
Yeah, they catch them with their hands, but they bite you.
They use a little finger, and then it devours your initial finger, and then you pull it out of the... No. And he eats mud. Why would I eat that?
No.
Okay. Dengue fever. Let's get back on track.
Yes, please.
Okay.
We're talking about mosquitoes, if you're confused.
Yeah. It's an arboviral disease seen in the Americas, Asia, and Africa.
Okay.
It's spread by the... I don't know what I wrote, but I'm going to go with the Andes, Aegypti, and Ale. It's spread by mosquitoes. All right? Some funky mosquitoes. One of the black ones, not the gray ones. All right. The spread of dengue is directly linked to the adaptation of these mosquitoes to their environment. So they maybe flew in from Asia. They're like, oh, this is weird. We've got mosquitoes. We've got alligators. We've got catfish. I'm adapting. Now I'm going to infect you.
Oh.
All right. So in the past 16 years, cases of dengue have been seen in Texas, Hawaii, and the Florida Keys.
Obviously.
Symptoms include, I bet you can guess.
Headache.
There's a headache in there.
Is there a fever?
There's a fever.
A rash?
Fatigue. There's fatigue in there. So you get sudden high fever. Shocker. Severe headaches. Big surprise. Pain behind the eyes. Maybe that's how you know it's dengue. You get pain behind the eyes. Severe joint and muscle pain, just like the chicky disease. Fatigue, nausea, vomiting. Everybody comes with nausea and vomiting. They're like a married pair, nausea and vomiting.
Sometimes when you get that really bad headache, that gives you the nausea and vomiting.
And you do have a rash. It's a skin rash, which appears 2 to 5 days after the fever.
Okay.
You can have mild bleeding, like nose bleeding, bleeding from the gums, easy bruising. That's bizarre. Can you imagine just getting random low bleeding because she had a mosquito bite?
I know. No,
it's disturbing. On rare occasion, it can become dengue hemorrhagic fever.
Oh, no, we don't want that.
Yeah, so your fever goes even higher. You could have damage to the lymphatic blood vessels. You can have bleeding from your nose and your gums, enlargement of the liver, failure of the circulatory systems, and this can progress to a massive bleeding.
Uh-oh.
You can have shock and death.
I don't
These
want that.
fuckers. These little fuckers. Okay.
Little
what do we
stupid
see?
Mosquitoes.
Little stupid mosquitoes. So in Massachusetts, the big fear is Eastern Equine Encephalitis. Now, I didn't go through all the encephalitises. I really don't care about the St. Louis encephalitis because we
or
don't
the Western. We're Eastern.
Or the Western. We're Eastern. Okay. It is among the most serious. It can affect the central nervous system, and it can result in death. Are you surprised? Okay.
Nope.
It's found in freshwater hardwood, not softwood. Which do I know that? No, I can't imagine. I think an oak is a good hardwood. Oh, and maybe a pine is a good softwood. So maybe it's in like oak forests.
Yeah. Do we have those?
I have oaks in my backyard.
Oh, yeah. Well, you're screwed.
Yeah, I am. I'm gonna have EE. All right, so it's found in hardwood swampland in the Atlantic and Gulf Coast states. Its life cycle involves birds, humans, and horses and shit. Because I literally wrote horses and shit. Horses and shit.
Well, you would think horses, equine.
Equine. Yeah. So it has something to do with, like, it goes from birds, it goes to horses, and shit, and then humans. Somewhere the in shit's in between how it morphs from horses to humans.
Okay.
Yep. Okay. It has about a 4 to 10 day inoculation period. No, is it? Yeah.
Yeah.
I wrote it completely bizarre.
Incubation.
No, I wrote inoculation, but look how I wrote it. Some people can develop meningitis and encephalitis, while others will have no symptoms at all.
Oh, maybe sounds like have it with no symptoms.
Oh, jeez, I hope I don't have it at all.
I mean, I don't want it at all, but I would really like it with no symptoms.
All right, Laura. Serious infection includes... Come on, you know it.
Headache. Fever.
Fever for sure.
Okay.
Chills.
Yeah.
General malaise. Arthralgia or arthralgia, which is muscle pain. Myalgia, which is also muscle. So one's joint pain, one's muscle pain. Okay. The illness is 1 to 2 weeks. Most people recover completely when there is no central nervous system involvement. When there is central nervous involvement, here comes your headaches. Okay. You got a fever, you got your headache, you get vomiting, diarrhea. Those always go together too.
It's coming out both ends.
It's coming out both ends. But you know what? You lose a couple pounds.
I mean,
it's a good diet.
Right.
You get seizures, you get behavioral changes, drowsiness, and a possible coma. You don't want a possible coma.
No.
Okay. So approximately 1/3 of all people with triple E, that's what I'm going to call it, will die with death occurring 2 to 10 days after the onset of symptoms.
1/3?
It's pretty bad.
That's a lot.
Didn't they just have like an 8-year-old last year?
Yeah.
It's pretty bad.
No, she recovered, I think. Didn't she get it recovered? She was in children's. The young girl.
Maybe. But
I mean, a few people died last year, but...
She's not what she was when she started.
I think, yeah.
Those who recover are left with physical or mental issues, which range from mild brain dysfunction to severe intellectual impairment, personality disorders, and seizures and paralysis.
Oh, my God.
Some require long-term care, and a few die. Usually, if you end up in long-term care, you're going to die within a few years. Not something you want to get.
No.
All right. Let me see if I finish up with West Nile. Let me see how many more diseases I'm going to bother you with. I think I finish up with West Nile because that's another big one around here.
Yes.
Everybody
We're
freaks
always
out
afraid of Tripoli and West Nile.
Okay. So West Nile, it's been around since 1937 when it was seen in Africa. Africa's a hotbed of all fucking diseases known to man. Mm-hmm. Okay? It, too, is cycled between birds and horses and shit and human. Okay? Of most mosquitoes-borne illnesses, it is considered... not as severe. That's what I wrote. I said hot as severe. I'm like, that doesn't make any sense.
What was I thinking?
Not as severe. It's seen all over the United States, and symptoms include...
fever.
Yep.
Headache.
Yep.
Fatigue.
Yep. General malaise.
Okay.
Yep. Aches and a rash. Neck stiffness. Stupor. That's my favorite. He's in a stupor, which means you're basically all fucked up.
Yeah.
All right? Vision loss, numbness, and paralysis. Mild symptoms can last a few days. Severe symptoms can be for months.
Ooh.
All right. Oh, you know what? I snuck another one in.
Okay.
Zika virus.
Oh, Zika.
That's another big one.
When you said that at the beginning, I forgot about Zika.
Zika virus. Because my girlfriend was pregnant and she was supposed to go to a wedding in Mexico.
Mm-mm.
And she went to her PCP and they were like, okay, you can go, but you have to wear long sleeves the whole time. She's like, this wedding's going to be really hot. You think we're good? She's like, well, if you don't want to miscarry. So I covered Zika for her.
Good.
Okay, Zika. Guess where it was first seen?
Africa.
Oh, you're so smart. 1947. It's not been in the U.S., but it is seen in the U.S. territories in the Caribbean, which is why you got to be careful. It's in Mexico. It's in the Caribbean area. It is transmitted through the bite of an infected mosquito. I'm not going to tell you what kind because you're not even going to know. It's one of the gray ones. But in rare cases, it can be spread through sexual contact of an infected person with Zika. How bizarre is that? It becomes an STD.
So your husband can't even go to Mexico.
Right.
Yeah.
Because if he's infected, you're getting fucked.
Yeah.
You're getting fucked and then you're getting fucked. The most people infected have no signs or symptoms. But the symptoms include, Laura.
Fever.
Yep.
Headache.
Yep. Rash.
Rash.
And a general feeling of malaise. So I don't know how you determine if you have dengue, Zika,
how do they know?
Zika. I don't know. Because I think some of these are parasites, so they should be able to see the type of parasite if they draw your blood, what kind it is. So symptoms include fever, headaches, rash, red eyes, muscle pain, and a general feeling of discomfort. I have that on a daily basis. All right.
I don't know. I think I have all of these right now.
I'm telling you, I feel like that. I mean, that's a hangover.
Yeah.
Pregnant women can miscarry, and in some, it may cause. I'm going to say this wrong because I always get corrected. Guillain-Barré, 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 whatever you want to call it. Yeah. It's that bizarre disease that you get and it makes you paralyzed from the toes to your head and then you get over it. Yeah. But you may not always be completely normal. So, we're going to move on to prevention of mosquito bites.
Please tell us.
Any breeze above 1 mile per hour makes it hard for them to fly. So if I just blew in your face, you probably couldn't get mosquitoes.
Over 1 mile an hour? When is it not a breeze over 1 mile an hour? Well, you know when
you get that stagnant hot night and they're all buzzing in your ears?
All right.
There's a skeeter on my Peter, knock it off. You know, there's another on my cousin. You ever heard that one?
No.
Skeeter on my Peter, knock it off. There's a dozen on my cousin, knock it off.
No.
Oh, God, never mind. All right. Somebody out there knows what I'm talking about. All right. So any breeze above 1 mile per hour makes it hard to fly. So use plug-in fans and direct the fans downward.
Okay.
Avoid mosquito hours. Dusk till dawn. Stay inside during warmer weather at these times and to avoid bites. DEET products are the best, which they tell you kills all the bees and everything, but apparently they kill the nasty mosquitoes.
Yes.
Don't douse yourself, but put it on your hands and apply it like perfume. To your ankles, to your wrists, to your elbows, to your forehead. Places where your skin is thin and where they like to feed. Oof. The thought of anything feeding on me.
And what, I mean, is it checking my whole body out and being like, yep, right there. That's where I want it.
They know color. So they go for things that are lighter because darker, the contrast. I'm sorry, they go for things that are darker because they can see it.
Oh.
So if you're afraid of DEET, you can try Picardian or Picarden, IR3535. Don't ask me what these are because I don't know. Or eucalyptus oil. Try to stay cool because mosquitoes are drawn by pheromones released in your sweat.
Mm-hmm.
Wear tightly woven clothes, lightly colored clothes. Any garment that offers sun protection will be woven tightly enough to protect you against mosquitoes. Mm-hmm. They use vision to search out food during the day. They fly close to the ground, and they look for targets by looking for things that are contrast against the horizon, and dark stands out against the horizon. Yeah. They like carbon dioxide. So if your heart rate is up, like so you're out running, you're giving off a lot of carbon dioxide, they're going to feed on you. Being drunk. So I probably shouldn't go out right now. No. Being drunk or eating spicy food, you're giving off more CO2.
Really?
Yep. Another problem. Obesity and pregnancy also gives off CO2. Huh. So if you're really fat, you're giving off a lot of CO2 and you don't want to go out. Get rid of standing water around your home like bird baths, kiddie pools. Mm-hmm. They're breeding grounds. Plants that repel mosquitoes. The citronella plant. Mm-hmm. I thought it was just a candle.
I know. Who knew that came from a plant?
Lavender plants, lemongrass, marigolds. I knew marigolds got rid of bugs.
Really?
But you're never going to plant enough of them to keep them completely away from the yard, but it does help. Spray your yard for mosquitoes. Avoid wearing scented products because they like perfume, apparently. And that's where I stopped with the scented products.
Okay.
So mosquitoes, they're dangerous little shitheads. So they suck. So, moving on, we're going to move on to stingers.
Yes.
Stingers. Okay, I'm ready.
So, I was supposed to do bees and wasps. They're pretty much the same thing, apparently. I didn't know that.
The degree of assholeness depends on the actual breed.
Yeah.
Bees are, they're defending. Wasps are flat out assholes.
Yeah.
They sting you for no reason.
Except for killer bees.
Oh. Mm-hmm. All right. You covered killer bees.
Yeah.
Oh, you went old school.
Mm-hmm. I also covered murder hornets.
Oh, man.
Yeah. Not as exciting as they led you to believe.
Yeah, but you know what? My son watches weird shit. And he watched this guy who let a murder hornet sting him. Mm-hmm. It sounds like a B-52 coming at you. Mm-hmm. And his arm swelled like I've never seen. And he's like 4 hours of pain.
Yeah.
4 hours of pain.
Yeah.
They're fuckers.
Yeah, they carry a lot. Well, I'll get into it.
All right. All right, it's all yours, Bob.
All right. So every summer, we hear about animal attacks, especially if you listen to our podcast.
It's because I love them.
Yep. Talk about bear attacks, shark attacks, alligators, cougars.
Jellyfish.
Every summer, some poor people lose their life in America to a horrific animal attack. Do you know what the most lethal animal in America is?
The mosquito?
Mm-mm.
It's bees.
Bees and wasps. Most
fucking
lethal.
Wasps. I'm telling you, I got bit by a wasp at 8. Oh. I vividly remember it because it hurt that bad.
I don't know how you know the difference. People are like, oh, that's a wasp. I'm like, looks like a bee to me.
Because they got these weird legs that dangle down, and they're huge compared to a bee. And they got these weird, I don't know what those legs do, but they dangle down and they come at you. Oh, they're fuckers.
I don't know. I don't look at them close enough. On average, almost 100 Americans die every year from bee/wasp stings. Yeah. And most think that this is an underestimate because some bee sting deaths are attributed to heart attacks or sunstroke or something else, but they think they're bee stings. The CDC announced last year that deaths from bee/wasp stings, I'm just going to go with bee. I mean both.
Okay. But they're not really the same.
I know.
The bees actually do something for us, but the wasps
do
nothing.
Their sting is pretty much the same.
Yeah. I'll give you that.
So the CDC announced last year that deaths from bee stings had hit their highest total since 2005. Between 2000 and 2017, there was an average of 62 deaths each year.
Wow.
In 2017, there were 89 deaths, and about 80% of those deaths were male.
Oh, they are the weakest sex. I'm just saying.
Usually, bee stings are not deadly. Experts say the average adult can safely withstand. How many stings can you safely withstand, do you think?
5.
1,000.
1,000.
1,000. You could
If I'm getting stung by 1,000 bees, you're going to have to put me in an asylum because I'm losing my mind.
Yeah. You can safely withstand.
How
normally.
Getting stung by 1,000 bees?
If you hit a hive or something and they swarm you.
How big is the hive?
I don't know. Some of them are big. Wait till you hear.
Yeah, but I don't want to be near it.
Nope.
You'd hear that fucker buzzing.
Oh, yeah. Usually what makes stings deadly is an allergy to the venom, not the toxicity of the venom. So usually you die because of an allergy, not because of the toxicity.
Because you're a weak man.
Listen, I get a lot of allergies.
And bee stings
not one of them.
I've been stung. I'm fine.
Yeah, I've been stung. About 2 million Americans have bee sting allergies.
Wow, that's a lot.
Yeah. Signs of an anaphylactic reaction are difficulty breathing, hives, swelling of the face, throat, or mouth.
You blow up like a blowfish.
Yeah. Anxiety, a fast pulse, a drop in your blood pressure, nausea and vomiting, diarrhea, fainting, dizziness, and a loss of consciousness.
Good time.
They can die within 10 minutes.
I believe it.
Mm-hmm. They have a 25% to 65% chance of having anaphylaxis the next time they are stung. You don't always have the same reaction when you're stung.
Right.
So just because you had anaphylaxis once doesn't mean you will have it again when you're stung.
And you can be stung and not having anaphylaxis.
Yes, and the next time you can have it. If you have an allergy to bee stings, you should carry an EpiPen and use it if stung. Okay. And if you use an EpiPen for any allergy, you should immediately call 911. Don't think, oh, I use my EpiPen, I'm fine. Always call 911 if you use an EpiPen.
Because you can have a delayed reaction too, can't you?
Right, and sometimes it's just not enough anymore. Right. Adults have more severe reactions and are more likely to die than children, which really? I thought would be the opposite.
Yeah, because they're smaller.
Mm-hmm.
They're little peanuts.
Little fast facts.
Oh, I love my facts.
Mm-hmm. Melatonin is a small protein in the venom that causes the pain, and the histamine causes the swelling and redness.
Melatonin, not to be confused with melatonin.
Correct.
All right, so they don't make you go to sleep, they kill you.
It doesn't make you go to sleep. It just causes a lot of... You will not sleep because it really hurts. Male bees do not have stingers.
The males, weaker sex?
Yep.
Those females, you got to watch out for them. They're vicious.
Mm-hmm.
Vicious.
Bee stingers are barbed, so when they sting... The barb then becomes lodged, and when the bee flies away, the stinger is ripped from their abdomen, and they will die within minutes.
Good. Mm-hmm. They deserve it.
Mm-hmm. When their hive is threatened, they will launch a coordinated attack and keep stinging until the threat leaves or dies.
Coordinated attack.
It's a coordinated attack.
Attack!
Yeah.
Attack!
They do it in like waves, so like they'll sting you if you don't leave. The next wave comes, and the next wave comes.
Kind of like World War One.
Yep. Wasps do not drop their stingers, so they can sting you many times.
And that's why they're assholes.
Yeah.
With those long, weird legs.
You can treat wasp stings with vinegar on a cotton ball because the wasp stings are alkaline.
So this is acidic.
So the acidic nature of the alcohol reduces the alkaline of the thing. It helps it not hurt.
Okay. I'll tell you, I was pregnant with Vienna, and I walked into my shed, and I watched it hit my hand and sting. And I thought, what did they talk about? That's not that bad. Holy shit.
Yeah.
Within 5 minutes, it was like, oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God, that hurts. Oh my God, that hurts. I wasn't thinking vinegar at all. I was just, and I was pregnant, so I'm like calling, my doctor. I'm like, is this going to affect the baby? She's like, oh, you're fine. My hand blew up like 3 times its size. Yeah. Man, did that hurt.
So, if it's a wasp, and if you know it's a wasp, which I would not, so I wouldn't do it. But if you know it's a wasp, you can treat it with like apple cider vinegar or white vinegar on a cotton ball. Just dab it. It helps with the pain and the swelling.
Dressing on it.
Yeah. The opposite is true for bee stings because bee stings are acidic.
So
if you put it on, it would be more.
Soda.
Use some baking soda.
I think I told you the meat tenderizer story on this.
Yes.
Did I? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That was the bee sting thing.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Symptoms of bee/wasp stings vary widely. Just because, like I already said this, you react one way one time does not mean that it will be a reaction every time. Mild reactions are instant sharp burning pain where you were stung, a red welt where you were stung. Sometimes there's like a little white center, like where the stinger went in, and slight swelling around the sting area. And all these symptoms usually go away within a few hours. Moderate reactions include extreme redness and swelling at the site that enlarges over a few days.
Oof.
Yeah. And you can also experience nausea and vomiting with a moderate reaction.
And then everything else.
Yeah. And then you have the severe allergic reactions that I already went over. Multiple bee stings cause an accumulation of venom, which can cause a toxic reaction. Signs and symptoms of that are. So if you hit a hive and you're getting stung by a bunch of them. Oh my God.
I would have a stroke.
I would have a stroke. Signs and symptoms are nausea, vomiting, and diarrhea, headache, vertigo, convulsions, fever, fainting, and this can become a medical emergency.
I would definitely be fainting.
Yeah.
There's no doubt about it.
I would just hope I would faint.
And I would be convulsing.
Yeah. Risk factors for bee stings. If you live near beehives.
Shocker.
Yeah.
You're a beekeeper.
Or
you're gonna get
if
stung.
you work outside or spend a lot of time outdoors. All risk factors.
We don't see the light of day.
No. You can prevent bee stings by inspecting your can or your straw before drinking out of them. It is safest to drink sweet beverages out of wide open cups when outside. Because you can swallow the bee.
Imagine.
No, a bee in your mouth.
Fucking
Oh, you know.
swallowing. When I was a kid, my girlfriend's mother used to make, and it's my favorite thing in the world, and I haven't had them since I was probably 14. She would take the zucchini flowers and fry them.
Ooh.
They are the best. So we're at dinner. She fried the zucchini flowers. I'm sucking them down. She ate half a bee because it was in the flour and she cooked it. And I was like, oh, that's disgusting. But I'm assuming the venom was fried.
Probably did.
Fried in oil, dipped in batter.
Maybe she didn't eat the stinger part.
She was like, I just ate half a bee. I'm like, I'd be throwing up at the table.
No, these are live ones in your drinks. So
yeah, no, I'm good.
I do remember that at my grandmother's house growing up. There was a ton of bees there in Everett for whatever reason. And they would be like right in the top of your Coke can. Like at the opening.
But those are the asshole yellow jackets.
Yeah, and they would kind of get you though.
Yeah.
If you're trying to drink them, they're going to get you.
Yeah.
Tightly cover food containers and trash cans. Clear away garbage, fallen fruit, and dog poop. Flies attract wasps.
Why? They eat the flies?
Yeah, they must.
Ooh.
Yeah, so if you have like things around that attract and fly. I know.
Speak about nature's disgusting animal.
Wear closed-toe shoes when walking outside. Don't wear bright colors or floral prints.
There's a big daisy over there.
Don't wear loose clothing. Bees can fly in and then get trapped up in your clothing, and then they're stinging you to get out.
I would shit myself if I had a bee up my skirt.
Yeah. Keep your windows up while driving. Not happening.
I have had recently where I saw one fly in, and I was telling the kids about it, and literally Cameron looked, and he was like, "There's a bee on the window." I almost got a car accident. I'm like trying to pull over without having, like, completely losing my mind. I'm rolling all the windows. I'm like, get it out! Oh my god! I wonder how many car accidents
I know from a bee. Watch for hives while doing yard work. Check your yard before you roll over everything with the.
Because they can burrow in the ground.
Yeah, they go in the ground, especially wasps. I think. Have professionals remove any hives or nests near your home. Don't try to do it yourself. You don't know what you're doing. You need to be protected. Don't do it. If a few bees are around you, calmly and slowly walk away.
Yeah, okay. Easier said than done.
I remember my sister, we were in elementary school, and she was lined up to like go back in from recess, and there was a bee. She's like, there's a bee near me. There's a bee near me. It's going to land on me. And they're like, just stay still. Just stay still. It like landed on her. They're like, just stay still. Just stay still. Stung her. Oh. I stayed still.
Nope. I go screaming in the other direction. I don't care.
If a bee stings you and a lot of insects start flying near you, cover your nose and mouth and quickly leave the area.
Yes.
Try to get into a building because when a bee stings, it releases a chemical that attracts other bees to come near you.
Nope.
If you are stung, for a minor reaction, remove the stinger ASAP by scraping your fingernail over
the abdomen of the dead bee.
No, because the bee should fall.
So it's his abdomen stuck.
So it's when the little
still injecting.
So so you just rub it right over where it stung you, and it makes the stinger come up.
Yeah, I'm gonna do that.
Do not squeeze the welt to remove the stinger because it just releases more. Yeah. Do not try to remove a stinger below the skin surface. Like if you get stung and you don't see the stinger right on your skin, don't go digging around with tweezers because there might not be a stinger. A, sometimes it doesn't fall off if it didn't get you deep enough. B, like wasps don't leave their stinger. So if it was a wasp, you're going to dig around and cause an infection. Good. Wash the area with soap and water and apply a cold compress to help with the pain and the swelling. For a moderate reaction, remove the stinger again with your fingernail. Wash the area with soap and water, apply the cold compress, take ibuprofen for pain. If stung on an arm or leg, elevate whatever you were stung on. Mm-hmm. Use hydrocortisone cream or calamine lotion to ease the redness, itching, and swelling. Take an antihistamine if itching is bothersome. And don't scratch it. It makes it more itchy, which I tell my kids all the time.
Yeah, but they don't listen.
I know. And it can cause an infection because you can get germs in there. For a severe reaction, obviously you're going to take your EpiPen if you have one. Get to a hospital, call 911. And at the hospital, they'd give you more epinephrine. They'll give you oxygen. They'll give you steroids and other meds that you need for support. So then I covered murder hornets.
I love that they're called murder hornets.
Yes. Well, the names of them, their actual names, I can't say, so I didn't even write them down.
We're going to just go with murder hornets.
Release
the murder hornets.
I'm disappointed in murder hornets, to be honest.
Because they really don't hurt people.
No, it's really not that bad. Murder hornets come from Asia. It's the world's largest hornet.
And they're fucking huge.
Yes. They like to live in mountains and forests.
Good thing I don't live there.
Yeah. They nest by digging or using rodent tunnels.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
So they live with rats, which I don't like anymore.
Well, it's like ones that they don't use anymore. The rats aren't in anymore.
Mm-hmm. I think they're cohabitating.
Probably. Or spaces near rotted tree roots. They eat other large insects. They eat tree sap and honey from honeybees. Their body length is 1.8 inches, so 2 inches long.
They're pretty big.
That's big. That's like that thing coming at you.
And they sound like little B-52s.
Well, their wingspan is 3 inches.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, could you imagine that landing on you?
No, that's huge.
I would lose my mind.
And their stinger is 1/4 of an inch long. They inject large amounts of very potent venom. So that's the difference between them and other bees and the amount and how toxic it is.
Because they're huge.
Yeah.
So they got more to inject.
I'm going to let you know what they look like. These I could probably pick out. They're huge, so I could see them.
Yeah, because they're 3 feet long.
The hornet's head is light orange, and their antennas are brown with a yellow-orange base. It's like they have roots.
They got an ombre.
Yeah. Its eyes are dark. Its orange mandible, or its jaw, has one black tooth.
If he's big enough, I can see his one black tooth.
Mm-hmm.
I want nothing to do with him.
And that's what they use to dig.
Oh.
They have one black tooth.
I can know some people in Alabama with one black tooth.
Its thorax is dark brown with
Thorax.
2 gray wings. Its abdomen has bands of dark brown or black with a yellowish-orange hue.
Got a lot of orange.
It's a lot of yellow. It's very bright.
He's very sunning.
It's very, noticeable. You're big and you're bright.
Yeah. And you got one big black tooth.
Yeah.
How y'all doing?
And its last segment, you know how they have like 85 segments on them? Is yellow. Very bright thing coming at you, and it's huge. So you'll know it if you see it.
And you're going to hear him a mile away.
The queens are much larger than workers.
How much bigger is she than the fucking 2-inch?
They can be longer than 2 inches. So they're a little less than 2 inches.
So she's like a dachshund coming at you.
Yes.
Okay.
Where workers are usually only around 1.5 inches.
Workers.
So, workers are female as well.
Of course they are.
But they do not reproduce. Only queens reproduce. They have the same organs, though.
Well, I think that's with all the bees. Except in a bee, it's just the females that reproduce. Like, they become queens.
Right. No, these ones, only certain ones are. It's weird. And drones, or males, are similar to females, but do not have stingers.
Oh, well, that's nice to know.
A single murder hornet does not inject a lethal dose of venom. But if you are stung multiple times, it can be lethal even if you do not have a sting allergy.
Yeah, I believe it, because they're huge.
Yeah. It can cause multi-organ failure. 41 people died in 2013, and 1,600 people were injured in Shaanxi, China. I'm sure that's not how you say it.
Shaanxi.
Sure. Those that died were stung on average, guess how many times?
30.
59 times.
Like those at one time?
Yeah, like at one stung. Yeah.
Could you imagine 59 of
those
fuckers
things
coming at you? Ooh, you'd be covered in them.
Yeah, and those that survived were stung on an average of 28 times.
Oh, nope.
Then,
I would have killed myself by that point.
Oh, no. Wait till you hear these. So then I covered Africanized honeybees, otherwise known as killer bees.
Killer bees.
These are much scarier to me.
Well, so are we done with murder hornets?
Yes,
because
there's really not much on them.
Well, the hives in Asia. So murder hornets are called murder hornets because they eat the beehives. They eat the bees.
Right.
And they decapitate.
That's who they're hurting.
Yeah. Right. But the bees in Asia have figured out how to deal with them. So if a murder hornet gets in their hive, they surround it and they all heat up the hive till it's too hot and it kills them. American bees haven't figured out how to do that yet. So they come in and they decimate the hive. Don't ask me why I know that. Okay, just don't ask. I know it's weird. I know weird facts.
Yeah.
All right, so go ahead. Killer bees. Anyways, it's like a bad movie.
Yes, the Africanized honeybees, or killer bees, are very aggressive.
Yeah.
And seem to attack and swarm unprovoked. Normal bees only attack when they feel threatened. Like if you're near their hive, or you're going to be near their queen or the honey.
Color,
these bees, literally, people will not be anywhere near their hive. They won't be doing anything. They won't be running. So, like, there's no provocation, and they attack them and swarm them.
Oh, God.
They have been blamed for many deaths in the American Southwest.
They were in, like, Texas and shit, right?
Yeah. And as attacks are on the rise there. They have slowly migrated north from Brazil for decades. They look like normal bees and are no more poisonous.
They're mating with normal bees too, right?
I don't know.
I think they are.
They are just relentless when pursuing their target. So they're not more toxic. Nothing about them is different except they're mean. Yeah. In May 2016, killer bees were released by an amateur beekeeper trying to get rid of his hive after he was attacked.
Why would you do that? Why would you be?
I don't know if he intentionally released them or something happened when he was
trying. It's like the people who released the snakes into the
just let it go.
Yep.
So his bees get out after he was attacked, and those bees then killed 2 dogs. This is in California. A year before that, a construction worker in a Walmart parking lot died from allergic reaction to stings he got when his crew came upon an underground hive of killer bees.
Imagine dying that way. That would be such an awful way to die.
It must be so scary because in March 2016, a man from Raymondville, Texas, was mowing his lawn and was stung more than 200 times and died from killer bees. In Arizona, there have been like a ton of attacks.
I'm not going to Arizona.
No. In April 2000, I'm glad I didn't know this when I was there.
Yeah.
In April 2016, more than 20 people were stung at a mosque. A few days later, an elderly couple in the same area was attacked. The husband's allergic to bees, so he runs for the front door. He trips, falls at the front door.
That's some
unfortunate
luck. That's some unfortunate luck.
He actually survived, though.
I'd be that person. You always see the cartoons when they hide in the water and they get the little tube above the water so they can breathe. That would be me, just like waiting for the bees to leave.
In 2014, a landscaper in Arizona had been mowing a lawn when the killer bees came out of a 3-by-8 foot hive.
That's a gigantic hive.
It's long. 3-by-8 feet.
That's a huge hive.
Yes. And attacked them.
Ugh.
The hive was in someone's attic.
How did the person in the attic not get attacked?
I don't know if anybody ever. They must not have ever gone up there.
Yes, but it's their home. They had to have known bees around the house.
I don't know. Witnesses say his face and neck were completely covered with bees. I can't even. I just hope you pass out.
No, I feel bad.
I know. They also killed at least 3 dogs in Arizona in 2015.
That's not good.
No. Then there is Alex Bessler.
Oh, Alex. I'm afraid for Alex.
Mm-hmm. Him and a friend set out on a hike along Merkle Memorial Trail in Ussery Mountain Park near Mesa, Arizona.
Oof.
Around 9 a.m., a large swarm of bees swarmed Alex and his friend Sonia without any provocation. Mm-hmm. They were just walking down the trail and all of a sudden they swarmed. Sonia's like slightly ahead of Alex on the trail and she makes a run for it and gets to like a restroom that was nearby and locks herself in there.
That's exactly what I would do.
Alex didn't have a chance. The bees were like all around him. So Sonia alerts another hiker when she gets to the bathroom. Like there's a swarm of bees. My friend's being attacked. The hiker.
I love that she's alerting everybody else and did nothing to help.
Well,
I don't know what you would do to help him. I don't know what you would do.
I think she probably ran for it and then realized he wasn't behind her. So the hiker goes to try to find him and he's found on the ground completely covered by bees. The hiker couldn't even get close to him because the bees were so aggressive.
Oh my God, this is a nightmare.
Yeah. They got park employees there to help, but they were forced back because the bees were so aggressive.
So he's dead by this point. He's done.
Yeah. The swarm was still stinging him, and the rescuers tried over and over to get him, but they couldn't because they're like insane. Finally, this man, Sergeant Alan Romer, arrived at the park, gone on a UTV, which is a utility task vehicle. I think it must be one of those big ATVs that you put people on. Yeah. And raced to Alex. 2 firefighters that were there because there were other emergency.
I had like a fire extinguisher, not just to blow those assholes
they
off.
Could not get these things off of them. So 2 firefighters helped the sergeant load Alex onto the UTV. And
is he alive at this point?
I don't know if they can tell because he's completely covered with bees. So they get him on the thing and he flies down to like where all the ambulances are and stuff. By the time they get down to where the ambulances are, a lot of the bees are off of him, so they can then touch him and start doing CPR and life-saving measures. Sergeant Romer was stung multiple times himself, obviously, in the rescue. Alex was brought to Desert Vista Hospital, but unfortunately he died. He had been stung over 1,000 times.
Oh my God.
And he was 23 years old.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's a horrible way to die.
Yeah, terrible. I can't even... You know when you see pictures of bees swarming like on a car or something? Like, I can't even...
You can only hope that 10 stings in, he was unconscious.
This way, like, I hope you just pass out.
Yeah.
You have to.
Oh my God, that's horrible.
Yep, that's dedicated to Scullin. I know your love for bees.
I see a big bee fan.
He's so afraid of bees.
Yeah,
It's
I'm
not
the
funny.
same way. Skyline, I got your back. All right. Are you done?
Yes.
Oh my god, that was the end. That's quite a story to finish your bees with.
Well, that's what I think.
I'm going to have nightmares.
I
used to watch that show, Verminators, when I was like a couple of years ago. It was literally on for maybe 3 episodes, and they had to take it off. And it was shit like this, where you'd go into a home and there'd be a closet full of bees.
Oh, no.
And
I can't watch them swarm. I can't.
So I'm watching that, and we're talking rats. They talked about cockroaches. They talked about bees, bed bugs, black widow spiders. So I'm sleeping. It's 2 a.m, and I start freaking out. My husband's like, "What's your problem?" I'm like, "I think there's a mouse on the bed." He's like, "There's not a mouse on the bed." I'm like, "I think there's a mouse on the bed." He said, "If you ever watch that show again, I'll divorce you." And then I never saw it again.
Okay.
So now we know how I feel about leeches and blood-sucking animals.
You love them.
I do. Mm-hmm. So now I'm going to talk about ticks.
Okay, good.
Another bloodsucker. Mm-hmm. They're the smallest things in the world.
Mm-hmm.
They gross me out. Like you don't even... They skeeve me.
When something burrows into you...
Into their heads in your skin, sucking the life out of you. Mm-hmm. No. Okay. So, from 2004 to 2016, tick-borne illnesses have dramatically increased.
Great.
In 1 year, from 2016 to 2017, they rose 23%.
Jesus.
These little buggers are in all 50 states, and they put people at risk every year. So what are ticks? Mm-hmm. Well, they're little tiny spiders. They're arachnoids.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Huh. And they've been around for 90 million years.
These things don't die.
They're...
Yep, we can't keep any honeybees.
We could keep dinosaurs, but we can keep ticks and fucking
I'm really
mosquitoes.
Not upset we don't have dinosaurs.
Some of them are kind of cool.
I guess.
Remember the T-Rex with the little tiny arms?
You want a T-Rex yelling in your face.
Yeah, but it's got little tiny arms.
In the big, huge mouth.
What's he going to grab with those little tiny
lean
arms?
down and bite you.
Yeah, but it's
that's why he has no eye.
If he tipped over, how's he going to catch himself?
He's going to tip right on top of you and kill you.
I could outrun.
Crushed to death.
So the ticks require blood to complete their life cycle.
Oh.
There are over 800 species of ticks, but only 2 families infect humans. I'm not even going to pretend to tell you the names, but it's a hard tick versus a soft tick.
Oh.
The females, of course, are the bloodsuckers,
of course,
as males usually die after mating. Poor assholes. Mm-hmm. Oh, they're like black widows.
Yeah.
They don't fly, jump, or drop. They just kind of reach out with a leg, and they catch you on the way by.
Really?
Yep. They reach out with their nasty little legs and they grab onto your host. I never want to be a host for anything.
No.
I don't even want to host people. All right.
No.
Let alone ticks and other vectors of illness. Okay. Most ticks eventually die without a blood meal, but they can go as long as a year without a blood meal. Mm-hmm. Yep. Hard ticks attach and feed for days. Oh. And disease transmission usually comes at the end of the meal. So you could have a tick on you for 2 or 3 days, but you're going to get infected on the 3rd day.
Okay.
Soft ticks feed in less than an hour.
Ooh.
And they can transmit disease much quicker.
Mm-hmm.
Symptoms of a tick bite can be itching, burning, redness or red spot, localized intense pain in the joints, shortness of breath, swelling, numbness, or paralysis.
Lovely.
Some researchers have found the bite of the Lone Star tick, Laura, can cause people to develop a meat allergy, which I think is the most bizarre thing I've ever heard.
It's so weird.
So all of my information from here on in is going to come from mayoclinic.com.
Oh, yeah. I didn't even say.
So diseases ticks like to share. Lyme disease. Mm-hmm. You get Lyme disease from deer ticks or white-footed mouse ticks, which I'm sure you know the difference.
Yes.
Yep. You can get a rash from 3 to 30 days after an infected bite, and it forms the bullseye pattern that you keep hearing about. Mm-hmm. You get
fevers.
Yep. Chills.
Mm-hmm. Headaches. Fatigue.
Yep. General malaise. Body aches. Neck stiffness. And swollen lymph nodes.
Oh.
If it is untreated, joint pains usually in the knees, but they could shift from one joint to another.
Oh.
You can get neurologic problems within weeks to months or even years after you've developed, after you've been bitten. You can develop meningitis, Bell's palsy. Bell's palsy. Oh my God, did I ever tell you when my mother got Bell's palsy?
No.
Oh my God. My mother shows up at like Christmas dinner and half of her face is drooped. Yeah. And she's still trying to smoke.
Oh God.
Bell's palsy, right? She's like, I don't want to smoke my face. And she's trying to smoke a cigarette. I'm like, Mom, She couldn't close her lips.
No, you can't.
But God bless her, we don't like a quitter.
No.
Let alone, yeah. I can't enter the cigarette. She's drooling through the cigarette. I'm like, this is just disturbing. So that's what a Bell's palsy is. Half your face gets paralyzed and you think you're having a stroke. All right. Less common signs of Lyme's disease are an irregular heartbeat, eye inflammation, liver inflammation.
Eye inflammation.
You're like a bug. Severe fatigue. Lyme disease is unlikely if the tick was attached for less than 36 to 48 hours. So if you catch that you've been hiking, you're out in the woods, and you see it that night, you probably are not going to get Lyme disease. If you've had it sucking your blood for 3 days, you're very likely to get infected. Go to the doctor even if your symptoms go away because they can come back. It is treated with antibiotics, oral or IV. The next thing ticks like to share, Rocky Mountain spotted fever.
Really?
So deer ticks give you Lyme disease. Dog ticks give you Rocky Mountain spotted fever. Okay? And they're gross because I make a joke like half the pregnant women I know remind me of ticks because they get so gigantic. Ticks, they blow up to 4 times their size. Okay. So the Rocky Mountain spotted fever, this is my CDC information, comes from the American hard tick. I just like that he's called the American hard tick.
It's an American hard tick.
Hard.
Oh, hard.
Hard.
Okay.
Hard tick. Guess what happens with
You're tired. You get a headache.
You get a headache. You get a fever. You get a rash. You nausea, vomiting, stomach pain, muscle pain, loss of appetite, which I could handle that. Not everyone develops a rash, though most do, which is why it has the name Rocky Mountain Spotted Fever.
Oh. Yeah.
Severe cases can result in amputations of limb due to blood loss, vessel damage, hearing loss, paralysis, or mental disability. Ooh. So ticks look tiny, but they can really fuck you up. All right? So the treatment is doxycycline. Yeah. All right. Now,
at least these treatments are easy.
They are.
Like, they're not like some
But
weird...
some of them, you get it, there's no treatment. Yeah. So I worked as a public health nurse, and somebody I had babesiosis, okay, which is spread by ticks. Okay. Many people infected have no symptoms. Some get non-specific flu-like symptoms like a fever, chills, sweats, headache, body aches. I mean, the same thing for everything. Loss of appetite, nausea, and fatigue. It can be life-threatening for those who don't have a spleen, who have a weak immune system, for the elderly, and for liver or kidney disease. Okay. Complications, you can end up with a low, unstable blood pressure, severe hemolytic anemia, which I think your blood vessels are exploding. You can have a low platelet count, DIC, which if you end up at DIC is basically you stop bleeding from everywhere and you don't clot. And if you're in DIC, there's no coming back from it. In death. Yeah. Treatment.
Well, that'll lead right to death.
Yeah, right to death. Treatments are antibiotics and antiparasitics because babesiosis is a parasite. So think of how small that parasite is if it's
inside a tick.
Yeah. So for severe cases, you actually may need a blood transfusion. Tularemia. I think I did this one because I like the name. Yeah. Tularemia. It comes in many forms. 2 come from tick bites. Okay. When you look at the pictures of tularemia, it's gross because you have ulceroglandular tularemia.
That does not
sound what good. That's good. So you get fevers as high as 104, and you get skin ulcers from where the tick bite is. And like literally, they were showing you pictures of people's hands with just like sloughing up. It's disgusting.
We don't want to slough.
And then you can have glandular, which is the same as the ulcer one, but there's no ulcers. Treatments and antibiotics. Then we hope Poisson's disease. I don't know. Okay. That comes from the black-headed tick or the black-legged tick because you're looking when you have a tick on you.
And they're this big. I know.
So I'm not looking to see what color they are. Again, many infected people have no symptoms. People with symptoms start to feel sick 1 week to 1 month after the bite. Initial symptoms are
fever.
Yep.
Headache.
Yep.
Fatigue.
Well, not fatigue yet. Vomiting and weakness. Okay. We have vomiting in it. Severe disease. Meningitis. Confusion. Loss of coordination. Difficulty speaking. Seizures. Jesus. 1 out of 10 with severe disease will die from this disease. Half who survive have long-term effects. Recurring headaches, memory problems, and loss of muscle strength and muscle mass. There is no medication to treat it. You have to treat the symptoms. So prevention So, and I think when I was reading on Poisson's disease, all these people end up in long-term facilities. It's pretty sad. So, prevention and treatment of tick bites. If you have a tick that needs to be removed, put on gloves. Don't touch these because the parasites are there, so you don't want to touch it with your bare hands. So put on gloves so as not to spread the pathogens or the parasites. Page flip. Use fine-tipped forceps or tweezers and get the tick at skin level. You grab it as close to the skin as possible without killing it, and you gently pull upward till the tick comes out. Do not twist and turn because the mouth is barbed. And this could break the head off in the skin.
And that's the problem area.
Yes. Yeah. So once it's removed, don't crush it because it can release pathogens. Keep it in a bag or jar so you can take it to the doctors and they can figure out what kind of tick it is, or you can flush it down the toilet.
Yeah. So, I don't remember where I had the kids when they were little, and I had my nephew Steven. And I don't remember where we were, but I was like, okay, when we came home, I was like, I'm checking you all for ticks. Like, they were little. So, you check them, and then I'm like, okay, come on, shorts. Like, they had shorts on. I'm looking everywhere, and I'm like, oh, he's got a tick. And, of course, it's Steven. It's not my kid. Right. It's Steven. I'm like, shit. And I'm
Was it burrowed yet?
Just I had to pull it. But I just did it right away. Like, I did it with my fingers and with my nails, and I did pull it out. Everything came out. And I just flushed it down the goddamn toilet because I don't want the stupid tick. So then I tell my sister, I'm like, well, Steven had a tick. I got it off. Like, it couldn't have been on him long, but like, blah, 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 blah. She's like, well, did you keep it? I'm like, why the hell would I keep a tick? So I flushed it down. She goes, well, we have to get it tested. I'm like, yeah, it's down the toilet. It's gone. I'm like, it couldn't have been on him long. He got it today. Like, it's fine. But
we went hiking over February vacation 3 years ago, and it was like 70 degrees. Garrett gets a tick in his head.
Oh.
Yep. We saved it. We got the whole thing, and it was a deer tick. They're gross. Not a deer tick, excuse me. It was a dog tick. The guy that we were hiking with is really into bugs and shit. So he's like, oh, it's a dog tick. I'm like, oh, it's safe. He's like, yeah, not really, because you can have rocky spotted fever. You can have this. You can have that. It hadn't even really gotten blood because it wasn't that big. They were gross. They're gross. Yeah. They're gross.
I tell them all the time when they go like to the woods or whatever, I'm like, when you get in the shower, check yourself. Yeah. Armpits. Groins.
Cameron can spot them
bums.
A mile away.
You
can spot them a mile away.
But they like those damp crevices.
Yep.
Like, I'm like, you gotta check everywhere. Check downstairs.
Your groins. Yep. Your armpits.
Like, Mom, I'm like, make sure you check or I'm gonna have to check.
You don't want them like feeding off your balls.
No.
So you can also put liquid soap in a cotton ball and completely cover the tick for 15 to 20 seconds and then he'll back up. Or you can do my dad's version. Get the end of a Camel cigarette and it'll back out because he doesn't like the heat. Okay. Burn his ass with a cigarette. Right. That's how Ned used to do it. So after you
burned his leg with bleach.
Yeah, he used to dig the chickens out with bleach. And he also sandpapered his moles.
Yes.
Yeah. And he's duct taped his wounds. So, yep. My father's got he should be hillbilly medicine.
No.
Yeah. So burn that fucker. After thoroughly cleaning the area, you can use antibiotic ointment. You can watch the area for rash or signs of infection. Wash hands thoroughly after handling ticks or anything that touched the tick because he's just a vector for infection. So prevention. Avoid grassy areas and shrubs where ticks hang out. There's not like a big sign like Polygirl, little arrow down here. Right. We're all hanging out. Usually tall grass. There's ticks in them. Wear light-colored clothing so you can see them.
Oh, yeah. Good idea.
Tuck your pants into your socks and your boots so that they can't climb up your legs, your loose pant legs, because they like to do that. They like to go to those moist areas that you find at the upper end of the pant leg. Use bug repellents designed to repel ticks. Always do a chick check. Always do a tick check on you and others after being in areas that are present, which I make my kids do. Always check the hairlines, check the groins, check the armpits. They like it hot and moist. Love that word, moist. Moist. All right. I think that concludes our nasty, disgusting things that bite, suck blood, sting, and are gross.
Yeah.
Next week, we're going to talk about water parks and amusement parks. Now we're getting into the nitty-gritty of the summer series. A little death is coming.
A lot of death and dismemberment.
A little dismemberment, my favorite subject. So when you go out there, put on some DEET.
Yeah.
With some bug spray.
Watch your grass for
Yeah, cut your grass.
Nests.
How about just cut your grass?
Yeah, but check it first.
Yeah, because you could have an underground swarm.
Right. You don't want to do that.
And, give us some feedback. You can write some reviews on...
Whatever you listen on.
Whatever you listen to.
Yeah.
You can give us some emails about any tick bites. You can give us emails on Summers in the 80s, because that episode came out. Tell us what you thought.
Mm-hmm.
We'd love to hear from you.
Yeah.
Let us know how you're doing. Enjoy your summer, and we'll talk to you soon.
Bye.
Like, subscribe, rate, and review the Scissors and Scrubs podcast on whatever podcast app you listen to us on. Follow us on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at Scissors and Scrubs. And email us any of your stories or thoughts to scissorsnscrubs@gmail.com.